Hi, I'm Sil Reynolds.
And I'm Eliza Reynolds, and this is We Thrive TV, on-the-go answers from the ultimate mother-daughter dynamic duo.
That would be us. Every 2 weeks, we're here to answer your questions, moms. And today, on this episode of We Thrive TV, we want to talk with you about how to create the village that raises our daughters and our sons.
But in this case, mothers and daughters here.
Yeah.
We live in this crazy cultural situation where the nuclear family, this small pocket really where we're kind of in isolation for the people, is normal. It's like you have your few people and everybody else is everyone else. You know, most of the world and a few generations ago, we used to live nearby family, nearby very, very close community who...
Yeah, on farms, extended family. There were aunties and grandparents right there.
Yeah, so not only was mothers getting a lot of more support, but daughters were getting a lot of different role models, big sisters, the generations were so much more in conversation. And so a lot of what I see in working with mothers and daughters, what we see is that sometimes it can be hard to bridge these generational gaps, you know, as sometimes mothers have, in our awesome world, mothers are having daughters later and later, you know, having children when they're older. And so the age between mother and daughter is sometimes getting more and more extended. For example, like between you and your mom rather than me and you. And so sometimes, quite simply, the ability to connect, to use the same generational language is just like getting harder and harder, I find. So it's one of the reasons we want to talk today about how to create community and why intentionally building a village to help raise your child, but also to get the support you need as a mom is so essential in nurturing and growing a strong bond with your daughter.
Yes, and that word village obviously can be literal and it's also can be metaphorical because we're talking about what Gordon Neufeld, who is the attachment expert.
We love him here. Mother and daughtering loves Gordon Neufeld.
The Canadian psychologist, Gordon Neufeld, talks about the attachment village and how that is the natural network of humans that the way it's always been, multi-generational, everybody interacting with everyone else, everybody looking out for everyone else. You know, basically the village knowing each other. And the kids were protected, had lots of role models, and lots of adults had the kids' backs. So it was like, it's natural, and it was already taken care of. So as Eliza was saying, in our sometimes isolated culture, we have to create consciously this network, this attachment network. What I mean by attachment is that kids and adults and everybody in between know each other. They're attached.
They bond, they connect.
Exactly.
Yeah, they build a relationship, a meaningful relationship.
That's
not
right.
like passed down the street, I know Mr. So-and-so lives up the street. Like, really, there's relationship. We connect as people.
When that comes naturally, moms, in fact, you're doing it naturally, and I just want you to be aware of that and do it even more. For instance, when you naturally go into the classroom or go to the parent-teacher meeting for the first time, when your daughter is going to be in a specific grade and you go meet the teacher, you naturally connect with that teacher or try to connect with that teacher, adult to adult, and just kind of schmooze and get to know each other. And consciously or unconsciously, what's happening there is by association, your daughter is going to be in that teacher's hands in a little better way because that teacher knows you. That's the network. And so what we want to do is not just do that in the classroom with the educators and the teachers and the administrators, but also when our daughter is having after-school classes, knowing the other parents of their friends.
Yeah.
That's really key.
Well, actually, being part of helping your daughter build the community she needs. You know, maybe your daughter's social and that's great, and yet she still needs that support from her mom. Like, how do you build bonds? How do you find these other people who are really great, really grounded, really awesome to have in your life, to have your back? You know, and that's kind of a trial and error as you're younger. And so your daughter actually needs your wisdom of experience as she's learning how to navigate these. And one of my favorite things that you did, Mom, wasn't just with my teachers, and that was awesome, was also really being part of helping me find other aunties, other kind of village mamas, you know, whether it was, like you said, like the friend, the mom of one of my friends, that there were other women in my life who are really important. And sometimes
You started calling them godmommies, all of them.
I had like 9 of them.
Adopting godmommies.
Yeah, I figured out that was the right thing to do. I latched onto that phrase pretty young.
Will you be my godmommy?
Exactly. They were all very thrilled. But what is so powerful about finding other mamas and other aunties was that sometimes it was actually easier for me to go to one of those other mothers and talk about something maybe that was a little bit awkward to talk with you about. Like, they were showing me other ways of
Different perspectives.
of what it was like to be a woman in the world. And my mom was one amazing model, but we all need alternatives. And so what I really want to invite moms is to not feel threatened by that. Like, so cool. Like, help your daughter, support her in finding those other connections, because we need them. And we live in a culture, specifically our school culture, which is so obsessed with this grade system and age by age. And, you know, I know I was so sad when I was little because when I was in middle school, I mean, I tended to I had friends who were a few years older than me, and you know, I remember I'd hang out with like kids who were a few years older, and we'd all be going along so well, and then they'd go, "How old are you?" And I'd be like, "Oh, damn it. And I'd be like 11, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're 13," and then off they'd go. And I found that so insane, because some people I connect with most deeply in my life, you know, I'm 25, one is 12. She gives me like the best advice on friends I've ever gotten. The other one's 60. Like, we need to expand our notion of where we can find connection, where we can find friendship, and where we can find the gold in our attachment connection village.
Yes, because it's natural, moms, and it's natural for you to know who your daughter's going to connect with, who's going to have her back. You know, you're always, you know how we look for that great babysitter or that great summer camp or day camp where the counselors are awesome and where your daughter's going to have big sisters. And so,
And my favorite thing about big sisters,
Yeah?
this is a pro tip for you, Mom. Big sisters are where it's at, because when there's a big sister or a camp counselor who's maybe a decade or a little bit less older than your kid, and your daughter thinks she's like the bomb, like, oh my God, every word she says is gold. And then that older young woman looks up at you, Mom, and like, she's old enough to get how cool you are and to like have a relationship there. She literally bridges the generations.
Yes.
She is
Brilliant.
able to translate and show to your daughter, whoa, like maybe my mom's got something going on. So Mom, what we're really wanting for you is to more intentionally do what you're already doing and actively create that village that's going to support you and your daughter.
Now over to you, Mom. Do you want to find your village, your people? You bet you do. And they are the mothers in the mothering and daughtering community. Collective wisdom in the village from all of us is just so essential. So we want to hear your take.
And what we want to hear this episode is, how are you creating this intentional attachment village? Who are you reaching out to in your daughter's life to help her create more connections and also to support you in your mothering journey?
Head over to the blog and leave your comments in the comment section below.
Did this video help you? Share the love on Facebook or tweet it out.
Whatever platform you can wrap your head around, moms.
Because sharing is caring, and everyone could use a stronger bond.
So moms, when you're feeling not so confident and you're not sure the attachment village is like strong enough, you're already doing it and you just want to do it more consciously, you've totally got this. And you're all about thriving and not just surviving with your daughter during the preteen and teen years and beyond.
And we'll see you the week after next on We Thrive TV.